What if I told you that one of the world's greatest civilizations disappeared without leaving behind a single readable word? No kings carved in stone, no grand pyramids, no epic texts to tell their story. And yet, 4,000 years ago, they built cities with indoor bathrooms, underground drainage systems, perfectly planned streets, and international trade networks stretching thousands of miles. This is not a legend. This is the Indus Valley Civilization. At a time when much of the world was still learning how to organize villages, the people of the Indus were designing cities with mathematical precision. Their bricks were standardized, their streets formed perfect grids, their homes had private wells, their cities had advanced sewage systems that wouldn't look out of place in the modern world. Who were these people? How did they become so advanced? And, the biggest mystery of all, why did they vanish? Their script remains undeciphered to this day. Hundreds of symbols, carved onto seals and tablets, but no one can read them. Imagine an entire civilization speaking to us across time, and we still don't understand a single sentence. Were they ruled by powerful kings? Was their society peaceful? Did climate change wipe them out? Or did they slowly transform into something new? In this documentary, we travel back more than 4,000 years to uncover the rise, the brilliance, and the mysterious decline of one of humanity's earliest and most fascinating civilizations. This is the story of forgotten cities, ingenious minds, and a silent script waiting to be decoded. This is the Indus Valley Civilization. More than 4,000 years ago, long before the rise of empires in Rome or the glory of classical Greece, a remarkable civilization flourished along the fertile plains of the northwestern Indian subcontinent. Fed by mighty rivers and shaped by human ingenuity, this was the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's earliest and most sophisticated urban cultures. Our journey begins around 3300 BCE, in a region nourished by the Indus River and its tributaries. Flowing from the towering Himalayas down to the Arabian Sea, the Indus carried not only water and fertile silt, but the promise of life. Along its banks, communities of farmers gradually transformed into organized towns, and towns into thriving cities. By 2600 BCE, the civilization had entered its mature phase. Across an area larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined, hundreds of settlements emerged. From present-day Pakistan to northwestern India, from the foothills of the Himalayas to the coast of Gujarat, the Indus people built an interconnected world of trade, craft, and urban order. Among the greatest of these cities were Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Their ruins, buried for millennia beneath layers of earth, reveal a story of astonishing planning and civic discipline. Unlike many early civilizations that grew chaotically over time, Indus cities were carefully designed. Streets ran in straight lines, intersecting at right angles in a grid pattern. Major roads were wide enough for carts to pass, while smaller lanes connected residential blocks. Houses, built from standardized baked bricks, followed consistent measurements, evidence of a centralized system of weights and proportions. One of the most striking features of Indus urban life was sanitation. Nearly every house had access to a well or water source. Many homes contained private bathing areas with sloped floors that drained into covered sewers beneath the streets. These underground drainage systems were carefully constructed with inspection holes for maintenance. In a world where most ancient societies struggled with waste disposal, the Indus people had already mastered public hygiene. At Mohenjo-daro stands the Great Bath, a large brick-lined pool sealed with bitumen to make it watertight. Steps descend into the basin from both ends. Surrounding rooms suggest ritual use. While its exact purpose remains uncertain, many scholars believe it was used for ceremonial purification. Water, it seems, held spiritual as well as practical significance. Harappa, another major city, reveals massive granaries and large public structures. These buildings suggest organized storage and distribution of food, a sign of administrative control. Yet, unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, no grand palaces or royal tombs have been found. There is no clear evidence of kings or powerful rulers. Authority in the Indus world may have been more collective, perhaps managed by councils or merchant elites. Agriculture formed the backbone of the civilization. The fertile floodplains allowed farmers to grow wheat, barley, peas, and sesame. Evidence also points to the early cultivation of cotton, possibly the earliest in human history. Domesticated animals included cattle, sheep, goats, and water buffalo. Surplus crops supported urban populations and fueled trade. Trade networks extended far beyond the Indus region. Archaeological discoveries show Indus seals and beads in Mesopotamia, where the civilization was known as Melucha. Ships likely sailed from coastal settlements such as Lothal, carrying timber, ivory, precious stones, and crafted goods across the Arabian Sea. In return, they imported metals and other resources not locally available. Standardized weights made from chert stones indicate regulated commerce. These weights followed precise binary ratios, reflecting mathematical knowledge and economic organization. Craftspeople produced intricate beadwork from carnelian, lapis lazuli, and agate. Metallurgists worked with copper, bronze, and even gold, shaping tools, ornaments, and ritual objects. Among the most mysterious remnants of the Indus Valley Civilization are its seals. Carved from steatite and often square in shape, these seals depict animals: bulls, elephants, rhinoceroses, and a legendary unicorn figure. Above these images are short inscriptions written in the Indus script. To this day, the script remains undeciphered. Comprising hundreds of symbols, it appears on seals, pottery, and tablets. The inscriptions are brief, often no more than 5 to 10 characters. Without a bilingual text, like the Rosetta Stone for Egyptian hieroglyphs, scholars have been unable to unlock its meaning. The language behind the script remains unknown. Was it an early Dravidian tongue? A lost linguistic family? The silence of the script is one of history's great puzzles. Religion in the Indus Valley is equally enigmatic. Terracotta figurines suggest reference for a mother goddess figure, possibly linked to fertility. A famous seal depicts a seated figure surrounded by animals, sometimes interpreted as a proto-Shiva or Pashupati, the lord of beasts. However, such interpretations remain debated. What is clear is that the Indus people lived within a symbolic world where animals, nature, and ritual held deep meaning. Amulets, fire altars at certain sites, and burial practices provide hints of belief systems that may have influenced later South Asian traditions. Social life within the cities appears to have been relatively egalitarian compared to other ancient civilizations. Houses varied in size, but there is little evidence of extreme wealth disparities. Craft workshops were integrated within neighborhoods. The absence of ostentatious monuments to rulers suggests a society focused less on glorifying individuals and more on collective order. Children likely played in courtyards with terracotta toys, miniature carts, animals on wheels, and small figurines. Women spun thread and wove cloth. Men tended fields, shaped pottery, and traded goods. Life in the Indus cities must have been vibrant, rhythmic, and interconnected. Yet, around 1900 BCE, signs of decline began to appear. Cities were gradually abandoned, trade networks weakened, standardized construction faded. By 1300 BCE, the great urban centers lay largely deserted. The reasons for this collapse remain debated. Some scholars point to climate change. Geological evidence suggests shifting river patterns, including the drying of the Ghaggar-Hakra river system, possibly linked to the ancient Saraswati River described in later texts. Without reliable water sources, agricultural productivity would have suffered. Others proposed tectonic activity that altered river courses, flooding some regions while leaving others arid. There is also evidence of declining trade with Mesopotamia. Unlike earlier theories, modern research finds little proof of violent invasion. Instead, the decline appears gradual, a transformation rather than sudden destruction. As urban centers dissolved, populations likely migrated eastward toward the Ganges Plain, blending with other cultural groups. Elements of Indus culture may have persisted in village life, craft traditions, and religious symbolism. For centuries, the civilization was forgotten. Its bricks were reused by local builders. Its memory faded into myth. Then, in the 19th century, railway construction in British India led workers to uncover ancient baked bricks near Harappa. Archaeologists soon realized they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Excavations in the 1920s, led by Sir John Marshall and others, revealed the scale and sophistication of the Indus cities. The discovery transformed our understanding of ancient history. No longer were Egypt and Mesopotamia seen as the sole cradles of civilization. A third great center had emerged, independent, innovative, and uniquely South Asian. Today, the Indus Valley Civilization stands as a testament to human ingenuity. It challenges assumptions about power and hierarchy. It demonstrates that urban planning, sanitation, and trade could flourish without monumental kingship. It reminds us that advanced knowledge existed far earlier than once believed. And yet, so much remains unknown. The undeciphered script keeps its secrets. The identities of rulers, priests, or administrators remain hidden. The songs they sang, the stories they told, the names they gave their children, all are lost to time. But their bricks endure. Their streets still form straight lines beneath the dust. Their wells still hold echoes of water drawn thousands of years ago. In the silent ruins of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, we glimpse a civilization that valued order, craftsmanship, and harmony with nature. We see evidence of a society connected across vast distances, yet grounded in local community. We encounter a people who mastered urban life at a time when much of the world was still rural. The Indus Valley Civilization is not merely an ancient chapter of history. It is a reminder of humanity's shared heritage, of creativity, resilience, and the enduring quest to build meaningful communities. 4,000 years later, the Indus River still flows, and beneath its soil, the story of one of the world's first great civilizations continues to unfold, waiting, perhaps, for future discoveries to finally give voice to its silent script.